Okay, let's talk about something that feels like it's pulled straight from a sci-fi movie. I'm talking about roads that can charge your electric car while you're driving. Seriously.
I mean, just think about that for a second. What if your car never had to stop to charge? Imagine taking a massive road trip and your battery just doesn't go down. That's the huge question that's pushing this whole new wave of tech forward.
So, you're probably wondering, how does this magic actually work? Well, it's all thanks to something called inductive charging. And honestly, the easiest way to get it is to just think about that wireless charging pad for your phone. It's the same idea, just on a massive scale. You've got these coils under the asphalt, they create a magnetic field, and a special plate on your car grabs that energy. Conceptually, it sounds simple, right? But actually building it, that's a whole other story.
And look, this is so much more than just a cool party trick. This is a direct shot at solving range anxiety. You know that feeling, right? That little bit of panic, wondering if you've got enough power to make it to the next station. It's a huge reason why a lot of people are still on the fence about going electric. But what if we could just wipe that worry away while you're driving? Well, that's exactly what they're testing right now.
And yeah, I know, this might still sound like something from the distant future, but it's not. This is happening today. So, let's head over to Detroit because that's where you'll find the very first public wireless charging road in all of North America. It's live.
All right, so here's the lowdown. Back in November 2023, this quarter-mile piece of 14th Street in Detroit officially opened. It's a project by an Israeli tech company called Electreon, and their big idea here is pretty brilliant. If the road can keep you topped up, maybe cars don't need giant, heavy, expensive batteries anymore. You could get by with something smaller and lighter. And how they do it is actually pretty straightforward when you break it down. You've got crews that come in and lay these special coils right under the road's surface. Then they connect those coils to the city's power grid. And that's it. When a car with the right receiver plate drives over, boom, it starts pulling in power, wirelessly.
Okay, but the real question is, does it actually work? Well, during a live demo, they had a Ford e-Transit van pull about 19 kilowatts of power from the road. Now, to be clear, that's not going to beat a supercharger, but you're getting that charge while driving. It's not about a quick fill-up, it's about a constant, slow sip of energy that keeps you going.
This is where Electreon's strategy gets really interesting. They're not trying to do the impossible and electrify every single road. No way. They're playing it smart. They're focusing on commercial fleets. Think city buses, Amazon vans, vehicles that drive the same exact routes day in and day out. And even better, they're putting the tech in places like bus stops and at red lights. Why? Because the vehicle is just sitting there anyway. It's the perfect time to soak up a bunch of charge. It's a super practical approach to a really complex problem.
So, Detroit is all about the here and now, these low-speed city routes. But just one state over, in Indiana, a team is aiming for what you might call the moonshot. They're trying to crack the code for electrifying a high-speed highway. And this is where you can see two totally different philosophies at work. Detroit is grounded, practical, focused on city buses. Indiana, on the other hand, a project led by Purdue University, is going for the absolute biggest challenge, charging massive semi-trucks while they're flying down the highway at 65 miles an hour. We're talking about powering up the entire logistics network of the country. And you can just feel the excitement in this quote from Indiana's Governor Eric Holcomb. He's basically saying, we're going to figure out how to make concrete charge a truck, and you better not bet against us. It's not just a science experiment. It's a statement of intent, a huge amount of pride in what they're trying to do. So you might be asking, why trucks? Why all this focus on semis? Well, a few huge reasons. For one, they're a major source of emissions. Two, if you can give them smaller batteries, they can carry more stuff, and that's a massive win for the economy. And maybe most importantly, if you can solve this for a giant heavy truck, then doing it for a passenger car suddenly looks a whole lot easier. It could be the key that unlocks funding for everything else. And the team at Purdue isn't just copying Detroit's homework. They're building something brand new, from the ground up. Their system is designed for way higher power, because trucks need a lot more juice. It's also specifically made to work under concrete, which is what most of our highways are made of. And they've even simplified it, so a giant truck only needs one receiver plate. It's some seriously impressive engineering. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? Almost too good to be true. And, well, we need to talk about the one massive roadblock, the price tag. Get ready for this. The estimated cost to install this tech is somewhere around $2 million per mile. Per mile! Now think about how many millions of miles of roads there are in the US.
Yeah, the math gets absolutely insane really fast.
And that staggering cost, well, it brings in a healthy dose of skepticism. You've got experts like Ashley Nunes at Harvard Law School who basically say, hey, this looks awesome in a presentation, but when you look at the real-world cost and the logistics of it all, it just might not be practical. And that's a super important reality check to keep in mind.
So, what does that mean? Is it a dead end? Not at all. And this is probably the most important point to understand. Nobody involved in these projects thinks we're going to electrify every single road. That was never the plan. The real vision here is all about being smart, strategic deployment. It's about finding the key places where this tech will make the biggest difference.
All right, so what does that strategic future actually look like? Where does this piece of the puzzle fit? Well, Professor Nadia Gritza from the Purdue Project puts it perfectly. She says, and I'm paraphrasing here, we don't imagine every road having this. The idea is that these charging roads will work with the plug-in chargers we're already building. It's not a replacement, it's just another tool in the toolbox to get the job done. So if we lay out a roadmap for the future, here's what it might look like. Right now, through 2030, the big push in the US is just building more traditional plug-in chargers. Then, if you look out to 2035, you see places like France aiming for thousands of miles of these kinds of roads. But that ultimate goal, that dream of getting a full, fast charge while doing 70 on the highway, most researchers think that's still probably 20 or 30 years down the road.
So, when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway? It's this. These roads are not here to replace plugging in your car. That's not their job. Think of them as a specialized tool for very specific, very hard problems, like keeping a city's bus fleet moving all day, or finally cracking the code on long-haul electric trucks.
And that leaves us with one final huge question. If we're smart about where we build them, could these smart roads be that final missing piece of the puzzle? Could this be what finally makes EV charging convenient and reliable for absolutely everyone? We'll have to wait and see.